San Diego Wave.
They return after a 3-week international break.
Jesus, that ticker's so fast.
Yeah.
San Diego Wave does have a partnership with the San Diego Library. Get your San Diego Wave Library. Actually, a really cool maneuver. Talking about
that was really cool. The library card.
Yes. Talking about really cool maneuvers. San Diego FC also raised $90,000 for the local communities and great stuff happening out of the community. So great stuff.
Good stuff, San Diego
for
FC.
everybody out
Good
there.
Stuff.
Good
now
stuff.
To San Diego Wave. Abe, before we talk about this game, last season, Wave were on a run early in the season, the first half of the season. Then after an international break, it all crumbled down. Is there any fear in you or any itch in the back of your mind that this could happen returning this after this international break?
I think it's always something you should be worried about, especially when your team's on a hot streak, as far as like them maintaining the form. But for this season, I think a lot of that hinged on Delphine Cascarino, and this version of Wave isn't really so reliant on that one star up top of the pitch. They have like so many great players now that have been like performing at a high level that I think it's a lot. They can feel a lot more comfortable in like having other options up there. So I think they're a little bit better positioned, even though like at the beginning of the offseason when Delphine Cascarino left, I was kind of questioning like where this front line is going to be. But like they've shown so far, it's only been like 5 matches, but they've shown so far it's been like really, really good. And I think they're going to like keep up this form. It's going to be a little bit tough just because they're going to go to altitude. I looked at their like the email they sent out too. They're going to be traveling up that Friday after training. So it's kind of similar to what you said, Tony, of like the science being like spend as little time in altitude as possible. So that's the strategy that they're going with. I guess makes sense, and it's gonna be an interesting one for sure. I still think they probably are going to be performing at a high level. Denver's not in the greatest position right now, so I think they're still well situated to perform well.
Yeah, and I mean the essentially the players are also producing that were on international break, right? Sometimes you get these players who go on international break, like Hanna Lundqvist, who's out there who does perform well, but not necessarily to the level of necessarily scoring or being a big contributors on the and impact players on the game as a whole. But you have Dudinha scoring a great goal. You had Ludmila, who's playing great, also for Brazil. Kennedy Wesley, as we saw, a goal and an assist. So the production level for these teams, for these players, are actually at a good pace. And I think everybody who didn't go into international break has that good baseline to be able.
Daniela Arias was actually starting.
It's 11 Wave players that were out in international duty, guys. Like it's not like we're not up to the rhythm of continuance, like game time and everything. Like we saw Kennedy Wesley starting and killing it with the U.S. Women's National Team. Ascanio and Barcenas were with the youth national team. Ludmila, Dudinha, and Gabi all played in the Brazil games. You just said Daniela Arias started.
Portillo, yeah.
Moreno and Facer are getting minutes. Maybe Canzadali is a little rusty coming back. You never know, but she's also, one of the best players that has worn the Wave jersey. And then you have Mima Santen also playing for Jamaica. Like, this team is going to come back and still continue the run that they're on. I'm very confident. They did play Denver at Coachella. They got destroyed by Denver at Coachella. Is there going to be anything different in this game, Abe, that we can expect?
I mean, this Denver team is it just sucks the fun out of soccer. Back-to-back 0-0 games, right?
It's always hard against an expansion team.
I was excited about Denver coming off of Coachella. They played a fun style, and then the regular season started and it didn't really look that way at all, but they're still performing at a high level. So I think they have like an interesting element to the game. They have like really good players. I'm impressed by their roster build so far in year one, but it's still taking some time. Expansion team stuff hasn't really completely melded as well as it could. And I think San Diego Wave is going to benefit a lot from knowing each other, knowing how to like play together, and then not being like, I'm sure this international break is going to be affecting Denver too. And this is the first international break that they're like really dealing with during a regular season. So it's hard for any NWSL team to do that. I remember like year one for San Diego Wave, Casey Stoney was kind of like freaking out about it when there was an international break, and then the way that like the season was happening, and then also like integrating players back in. So it's I think Wave are probably better situated for this one.
But it's not going to be easy. Denver lost their first game of the season, and they have not lost since. They tied 3 games and won 1. They haven't gotten scored in the last 2 games as well, or 3 games, correction. So this is going to be a tough game. I visualize it kind of like the Boston game, where it's going to be low scoring, maybe a 1-1 tie, anything like that. But if somehow Wave come on and just dominate and score 2-3 goals in this game, whew, that's a good spot to be in.
They have to capitalize on the mistakes of an expansion team, and much like Boston, Denver does have those spaces that can be exploited, and they have to be lethal. And San Diego Wave has to stick to the style that they've been able to develop. This Jonas Vol, where you do pass it around, you do open up spaces, but now you also have the liberty and the confidence. I think this team has the confidence to start taking shots from outside the box, inside the box, create those rebounds.
Because you have shot takers now.
And
Team Ascanio is growing. Mel B's playing great coming off the bench. You picked up Leah Goatfree, that's playing out of her mind right now. Dudinia, who's 20 years old, tearing it up. Lumila, who's pacey and can actually finish. And then you have Gaby Portillo, who can add experience and a little bit of finesse coming off the bench now that Leo Godfrey kind of took over that starting right wing position. And then you still have Kensadali, who now you're giving her options on the build-up. I like where Wave is at right now. Again, early, anything can happen. And the backline, we were worried about it. But I'm sorry, Mimi Van Santen, she's looking great. You're like, okay, Hannah who? That's fine. Go to United. We got her. She's playing great. Kennedy Wesley, one of the best defenders in the league right now.
You know what's crazy too?
Is that a fact, Abe? Is Kennedy Wesley one of the best defenders in the league right now?
I think that's fair to say, yeah. At center back especially, yeah, she's been really, really solid.
You have Kristen McNabb, who is technically the GOAT for San Diego Wave, the player with the most caps, the player with the most minutes. I don't know if that's actually a fact, but I'm going to throw it on there. I don't care.
She has played the most minutes for the Wave. She beat out a couple weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
And then you have Pearl Moroni, who's solid at the left back position, and goalkeeper who's doing her job.
I mean, yeah, Freeman's doing what she needs to be doing. Hasn't necessarily been tested all that much, but again, that's a testament to the defense that's in front of her, right?
I think that's actually helped the defense step up a little bit, knowing that you don't have Caitlin Sheridan back there to kind of save you a little bit. So you have to really be careful and play better. Abe, how far can this Wave team go, at least in this next stretch?
If we're talking about stretch, let's see. You got Denver, and then you have Portland midweek, and then Bay FC, and then Angel City, and then Washington, and then you play Houston. So this is like a pretty tough stretch, honestly, because Portland's surprised a lot of people. It was a lot better than they expected. Bay FC had a pretty good off season, and then Angel City is also considered among top of the league and league contenders right now. So this is a pretty tough stretch, and I think it's if you started off well, especially against Denver, I think their momentum can really build. It feels different this year as far as momentum goes for the Wave. Once they when they're playing at a high level, they kind of just look really untouchable. Even in that Boston game where they didn't even play that well, it was just it felt inevitable that they were gonna add another one on. It's really impressive how well they've transitioned from last season to this season. In the off season where I think I was very much questioning what the direction was because of getting Caitlin Sheridan, Savannah McCaskill, Delphine Cascarino. It seemed like there was didn't really know, but the way that this team is developed and the young players have really blossomed in their starting roles. If we compare how San Diego FC brings up young players to San Diego Wave, I think it's very it shows how important veteran players are in the important parts of your roster, and then giving your young players time to develop and not really putting them in must win positions. Kimi Ascanio has had time to really cook. Same with Lorena Foster, same with Melanie Barcenas. They weren't like expected to be the saviors for this team as it kind of has been with San Diego FC. You guys are muted. Hello, are you guys there?
Yeah,
No, sorry, it was muted real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good point that you make, the development aspect, and it's going to be more interesting in a couple of years too when this Right to Dream women's division starts for the Right to Dream program, and see if you get some people from there. But right now, the San Diego Surf pipeline is doing wonders.
You mean the Stanford pipeline?
Stanford pipeline as well.
I think San Diego Wave's gonna beat
Surf.
Denver 1-0. I think they get another clean sheet.
Okay.
Abe, what do you think?
I think 2-1 is I think what I could see. 1-0 is good though. I don't want to copy you, but 1-0, I don't expect it to be like a super high scoring game, especially coming off of a break. I did see that they had a friendly against Cholos Femenil. They didn't announce it, but Cholos Femenil did. They like posted about it, so it's kind of it's always hilarious when it's
those
like,
closed doors. Ooh,
Están perrísimas.
I say 2-0 San Diego Wave.
Ooh, I like that too.
They have the offense to get it done. I think they have the know-how, and
I think the interesting question is who scores for this Wave team.
If Leah Godfrey scores again, man.
Leah Godfrey's definitely gonna score again.
But
But if it's 2, I'm gonna go with Leah Godfrey, and I don't know why, but I feel a Dudinha goal this one.
and this is a San Diego Wave team that's playing with the Cat McCarty tied behind their back. Like they're not.
What
Cat
if she's,
McCarty
like, it's been 3 weeks. You never know. What if she's healthy? Like that's another thing too about international breaks. They kind of hide injuries. So you never really know like who's completely like available right now. So it could be like
ask Jonas on Friday.
Yeah,
tomorrow actually.
No, that's just Kennedy Wesley.
Oh,
yeah. It'll be fascinating to hear about that. Like where are they at? Injury rise? Is Adriana Leon back? Do you even like bring her because of how good the front line has been? It's really interesting where they could go. Because like, could you imagine Cat McCarty was like available off the bench already? That'd be nuts. I kind of doubt it, but it's possible.
I don't think she'll be available till after the summer.
Why did you pay to get her out early then?
We bring her to the sunshine
because you can.
It was a very lovely weekend. Sunshine.
Maybe she healed.
Nice.
Yeah,
maybe she's healed.
She was at the soccer game, right?
Yeah, she was at the soccer game. She was moving around.
Was there sunshine in the good old Oceanside?
Front Range Arena?
Well, it was a shining example of great indoor soccer by your San Diego Stalkers, your 16-time champions.
Maybe it was a bad thing though, because she's jumping up and down, getting all excited, watching the win, and that can't be great for the ankle, right?